This episode is sponsored by Shutterstock.com. With over 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. For 30% off, head on over to Shutterstock.com and use offer code GAMEBREAKER7. This episode is also brought to you by Audible. For a free 30-day trial and to receive a free audiobook, just head on over to audible.com/gamebreaker.
Hello, Internet. Magic Man here once again from FreetoPlay TV with another DAT game. Our first look series. This time we're taking a look at World of Warplanes, the combat air flight simulator from wargaming.net, free to play, and now in open beta. So we're going to spend about 15 minutes or so checking out the game, going through some of the key features, giving you a little hands-on time. If you want to check out the game and you're watching this on FreetoPlay it's very easy. Button right underneath the video for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, click like and then come on over to the site and follow the directions. We'll get you signed up and help you get in-game. Now, I figured, let's do this game. Why not? Let's take somebody that's terrible at flight simulators and PvP and have them do a DAT game on a flight simulator that's nothing but PvP. So, right off the bat, we are in our hangar. You get four or five different planes off the bat. Basic Tier 1 planes. If you're familiar with World of Tanks, you probably are already familiar with the progression of your planes. You pick the planes you want from the US, Germany, Russia, USSR, apologies, and Japan, and you can follow the tech trees to upgrade different pieces of that plane like we're doing right now. Right now we have credits which we can earn in-game. There isn't gold yet because it is in open beta. They're using a placeholder currency called tokens, but all of these different types of currency are used to research better bodies, better airframes, better engines, better guns, and you can equip the stock planes that you get with better gear. So, right before we start, I'm going to upgrade on the P12 a few different pieces. I do know enough about World of Tanks and World of Warplanes and all the other wargaming paraphernalia to know that if you go in with the base stuff right off the bat, you're probably going to get mowed. So I do want to get a couple upgrades. So I've spent some credits, researched a better airframe engine, and let's give this body job. I want to. No, there's no such thing as stealth here. I'm going to get mowed down out of the sky anyway, so let's not even try to be stealthy about it. Let's give this a ridiculous paint job that they'd be proud to call their own. Oh, man, is that hideous. So you do have a fair amount of customization, not only within each individual plane, but you also have your tech tree, which I'll get to in between matches, where you can actually advance a particular country's technology and get higher and better geared planes. So we'll take a peek at it right now. USSR, Germany, and Japan. And so again, by spending different currencies, you're able to advance the tech of each nation until you can get down to some of those heavy-duty fighters at the bottom that are higher tiered. Now, obviously, I don't have any stats because I haven't started yet, and everything available in the cash shop with multiple different types of currencies. It's just a question of how long is it going to take you to get it. Typical wargaming.net. Remember, they did say that all pay-to-win is disappearing from their cash shop. I'm going to go ahead and buy the P23 here since I have the credits. It would be nice to at least get one upgrade on the P series. Now, I kind of blew a bunch of credits upgrading my my P12 a little bit, but that's okay. We'll take the P23 into battle. As far as battle modes, not too many, obviously. Queue up for battle right off the bat, and it's going to throw about 15 people together on each team, and sometimes a little less. And it's just a free-for-all. Go in there, when you die, you're done. Spectator mode or back to the hangar, pick one. You do have other options as a single player where you can do the initial training, which if you're not familiar with the controls, by all means take. It's not very hard. It'll take you like 5 minutes. No big deal. There's also a training against bots where it's just you going out against some bot fighters, so you can really fine-tune your ability to control here. One thing that I will say, I'm a big fan of War Thunder, which obviously people are going to draw comparisons between War Thunder and World of Warplanes. It's just going to happen. It's the nature of the games. While I'm not going to tell you which one is better, because I think that's going to be a personal flavor, this one being more historical in nature, whether it's accurate or not, totally different discussion, and War Thunder being a little more on the arcadey side, it's going to be personal flavor as far as which one is better. But one of the things World of Warplanes has been getting knocked against it since closed beta is the fact that the controls are a bit different, especially if you play with the mouse. You can see that my crosshairs are stuck in the middle of the screen. Now, anytime I move my mouse in any direction, my plane starts to follow it. The crosshairs in the circle that you see trailing behind my mouse crosshairs, that's actually where my plane is aiming at the moment. So I'm moving my mouse to the left, crosshairs go to the left, and you can see the drag delay with where my plane is actually firing. And the game does help you out with giving you some targeting circles as far as the direction that your enemy is going. As you can see here, I'm trying, I finally hit, nice, trying to aim out in front of this plane, but I'm not turning fast enough, therefore I'm ending up shooting behind it. So you do have a bit of a weird control scheme with the mouse. It doesn't feel as intuitive. What I would recommend, play with the keyboard, and if you can, play with a flight stick. Playing with a flight stick kind of locked a lot of these things in place. It didn't feel as floaty, and it did give me much more of a authentic feel to it. So if you have a flight stick, by all means, this is definitely a game. Whip out the flight stick and play with that. That sounds terrible. Just whip out the flight stick and just go to town on World of Warplanes. All right, so now we've got a bead on my enemy here, but I've used my boost a little too much to try and close the gap here. Now I've got a good bead here on that red circle. We're gonna score some hits here. But I'm outclassed here. I'm violently outclassed, and that's another thing. Do your research. I don't know a ton about planes, or World War II era planes specifically, and what was a carrier fighter, what was a ground-based fighter, things like that. I really had to spend some time learning these planes. To know, okay, I don't stand a chance against this particular fighter. I need to get the hell out of dodge. That's going to be a key piece of this game. There's no way I'm making it out of here. I'm going to get gunned down. But that's a key piece of this game, is do a little bit of research, learn your strengths and what type of planes you're going to match up against very well, and what type of planes... Oh, nice. Collision. Way to go. Huh. And that's on tape. Well, when you die, you do get to flip to spectator mode. Obviously, it doesn't matter which plane is better against which if you just crash into me. Okay. You can flip to spectator mode and bounce between your teammates and see how the battle's going. Right now, my team is getting trounced. We've got 2 planes left in the sky, and our opponent on the right-hand side looks to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fighters left, and this battle's almost over as we're watching one of my comrades hit the water. It's all you. And he's caught in the crossfire of like 4 different fighters here, so it's done. Now, if I didn't want to bounce in spectator mode, I can hit escape. It'll send me back to the hangar. Really neat feature. It will let you queue up for another battle. It just won't let you use the plane that's currently locked in this battle. So it is a nice feature since you have multiple planes in your hangar. If you get blown out of the sky very early, which if you're using a base plane is pretty likely, you can jump out of battle and get into another one. You just have to use a different plane. All right, so we're starting to accrue some stats here. A couple assist points, a little hit rate, a little bit of damage to aircrafts, getting some experience points. Again, these are the points that I'm going to use. You see them in the upper right to do research and to gear things up in my tech tree. So let's. We don't need to paint this guy again, do we? Here. So let's take a look at the tech tree. I've already bought the P23. I can't go down to the Hawk. I just don't have the required tokens to actually do this right now. So I've still got a little bit of farming to do. But I can go into the P23 and do a few more upgrades here. So I can research the new engine, upgrade that. Now we've got to... not going to be able to go all the way through, but that's all right. And we're good on the machine guns. Let me buy and mount this onto the P23. And we're as far as I can go here. So now you see that my base stats on the P23 have changed a little bit. And I'm giving myself a little bit of an edge. Now I'm still in the tier, the second tier where the P23 sits. But I've upped the stats a little bit. Some increased airspeed and maneuverability. My firepower, my hit points really haven't changed much because I haven't been able to change the weapons or change the actual airframe of my plane itself. So let's queue up and get into battle again. Now, again, I'm probably not going to rock the world, especially with all these tier 3, 4s in this match. This is going to be a little tough. But I should be able to last a little longer, do a little bit of damage just through a couple of base upgrades. And if you're one of those people that knows a lot about these planes, already knows what type is going to be best for you and what battles you're going up against, grabbing some upgrades is going to be a huge advantage for you, where at least it provides me a little bit of safe haven. I'm not going to get mowed down as quickly as I did in the first match. So here we go. You will see targets on the ground right now, anti-aircraft gun, things like that, boats, carriers. Depending on what map you're on, the harbor map in particular has got a lot going on water and on land. It is advisable, obviously, to stay away from them if you can, but if you see a target that you can take out very quickly, by all means, go for it and chalk up some experience and some points for you to upgrade some future parts and planes. I'm determined to not be embarrassed by this showing. There we go. Closing in, we've got 1, 2 on this side. I'm going to go in, and a couple in the distance there. I've got a nice beat on this guy, so we'll start opening fire early.
Target hit.
Nice. So I'm scoring hits. You can see the mouse controls I'm talking about, where the dead center cursor is going where my mouse is, but where the plane is pointing drags behind. So not only am I trying to aim in that red circle, but I'm trying to actually aim my plane's cursor in that circle, not necessarily my cursor. And that was a great example right there, where the center of my screen seemed way out in front of that circle, but it was enough to keep my plane's bearings right on target. So it does take a little bit of getting used to. Doesn't feel as intuitive as most flight sims or flight combat sims go. Again, once I hooked up the joystick, I felt the controls were a lot tighter and a lot more realistic. I had some fun with that. I've got somebody on my tail here, so I'm going to try and zigzag out of here. Boost speed a little bit. And I've taken a shot right in the engine. Trying to zig and zag and get out of his crosshairs a little bit. No. Oh, no. I'm keeping him off me enough, but my engine not cooperating after taking a few bullet strikes.
The tail is damaged. Maneuverability reduced.
So, yes, I'm dead, but we'll chalk that up to me sucking. You do see, though, that 1 or 2 upgrades is enough to give you a little bit of what's it called? A fighter's chance, a puncher's chance. So yes, it's not going to solve all your woes. You are going to take these lower tiered planes and probably get rocked a little bit while you farm some experience. But I didn't have any... I didn't feel like I was being cheated and that I was just very overmatched. I was, but I also suck at the game. So you guys that are more in tune with the balancing mechanics between these planes, you'll let me know what you think in the comments below. Is it well balanced? Is there still a lot of work to do? Is it quite obvious that there's a gap between Tier 1 and Tier 2, or Tier 2 and Tier 3? I could do some research about which planes are going to do well against other planes, but I'm not terribly good at these types of games, so any unbalances in the game I would probably tend to see as me just being bad at it. So if you're super awesome at World of Warplanes, let me know in the comments below. What's it like in between the two tiers as you go up? Or is there a big difference that you're just physically outmatched if you're in even one tier below your opponent? Let me know what you guys think. We're going to play one more match here. Again, standard battle, so there's not really too many different things to show you besides getting in there and trying to stay alive longer than 5 minutes. Now I'm going to have to go with a Tier 1 plane. This is not going to be good. This is practically paper. I am queuing up in a paper airplane. This is going to be quick. It's probably going to take longer for the countdown than for me to get shot down out of the sky in my little paper airplane here. And this is because I left the previous match early, so my plane was still locked in that match, so I've got to pick something else to queue up with again. So we'll go for this. So gang, this is World of Warplanes. If you're checking it out on YouTube, make sure you click like, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about the game while it's still in open beta. Obviously a lot could change, but what are your thoughts so far? If you're watching this on FreetoPlay and you want to check out the game, hit the play button right below the video and we'll get you set up so that you can be shooting me out of the sky within minutes of clicking that button. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe. Come on over to the website. Follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and follow us on twitch.tv/FreetoPlayTV. That's all spelled out, FreetoPlay TV, so that you can check out our daily streams with Troy and check out any other unscheduled streams that just so happen to show up. See, flying out over the harbor, right wing already damaged. You can see all the ground targets that I was talking about. This is not going to be good, so I'm going to say sayonara right now, my friends. This is Magic Man from FreetoPlay TV saying stay safe, and we'll see you out on the servers.
The engine has overheated. Cannot activate boost. The aircraft is destroyed.
Imagine that. I died in a PvP game.